Well, look, I think the sentiment behind your question is shared by the public, basically. People want Barack Obama to succeed, and in that sense is another sense in which he's analogous to FDR, because FDR came in at the same time and benefited from the same sentiment. The humorist Will Rogers said, if FDR showed up in Washington, headed to the U.S. Capitol, and burned it to the ground, people would have said, well, at least he can get a fire started. And I think Barack Obama is benefiting from some of that sentiment. But look, I don't think these policies are going to be good for the economy in the long term. So what can I do but oppose them? The Federal Reserve, I think, is the most important. There are two key things. One is the Federal Reserve and what it's doing, which is pumping liquidity into the system. Ben Bernanke is a student of the Great Depression. He realizes the grave errors that the Federal Reserve made then and is committed to not repeating them. Two, if we don't recover, it's going to be because of the financial crisis, which goes back to my remarks. That is the first thing he should have dealt with. He should have dealt with it up front. He should have dealt with it honestly. We should have gotten a price tag for what it's going to cost to return the system to solvency if necessary. And instead, this has been a second or third order priority. And I think that's a big mistake, and it reflects a cynicism.
Katrina.
I wanted to say that I think your question, thank you for your question or your comment, because in my view, it's not about those people who are rooting for Obama for a political reason, Rich. It's because there are millions of Americans who want America to succeed, who want America to come out of this hole. And though we are both very partisan, I do believe this is a moment where we need to, on all cylinders, work to rebuild a country which, as I said, has been starved of support and funding in all the fundamental ways we need. There is often talk about Obama being too ambitious, but he is trying to do both the banking piece, yes, which is crucial, but he's also building in the recovery and the budget. And I think you need to work on the banking piece and the housing piece. But there's no you have to do all of this. It is kind of a holistic approach. And if I could just briefly, my reference to the Soviet Union, Rich, was simply the dangers any occupying power confronts when it goes into a country that is deeply nationalistic through history and through tradition. And I find it cynical to invoke the women of Afghanistan, which the Bush administration did, when in fact it cared more about oil. And I've interviewed women of Afghanistan who hate the Taliban, as they should, but also do not want their country to be occupied and do not want to be the victims of aerial bombings, which have killed civilians, turning them against the United States, which I think we need to find a way out of. And again, I want Obama to succeed. We need him to succeed, and the escalation in Afghanistan may well ravage his presidency in the ways that Vietnam did Lyndon Johnson's, which we're not there yet, but the historical parallels are important to understand.
Next question, Petra.
Thank you. I'm Petra Al-Sufi, and I'm a political science student at Green Valley. My question is for Rich. You applauded President Obama on keeping in with President Bush Patriot Act and terrorist surveillance policies. I agree they kept us safe a couple of years ago, but now that we're in 2009, under those policies, in some American mosques, the FBI approaching Muslims to spy on each other or else. How is that keeping America safe when it's alienating the Muslim American community, who have as much interest as anyone else to keep America safe because we're part of it? Thank you.
A couple things just responding to Katrina before I get to the question. One, I wasn't, when I said people wanted Obama to succeed, I was precisely invoking the broad public sentiment that wants this to be a successful presidency and wants the economy to recover. But the question whether Obama is taking the right approach is an entirely different matter. And on Afghanistan, it's not cynical to invoke the women and the girls there. Who is going to stop the Taliban from preying on them, if not us? That's the question that can't be answered, because there is no answer. If we don't go in and do it, they'll be open again to the ravages of these people who want to impose a medieval vision on that society. I have to confess, the questioner, is not an area I know a lot about. If the FBI is being that cloddish and crude and ham-handed about it, that would obviously be very counterproductive. One of the wonderful things about this country is we have a population of Muslims, like everyone else, who is well integrated into the society, and it's very important for that to continue to be the case. So if there are such actions going on that would serve to alienate and disaffect people from this country, that's obviously a bad thing.
Next question.
Yes, this is for either Rich or Katrina. I want to address the dishonesty of the Obama administration and just your thoughts on his many of his appointees or nominations not paying their taxes, about how he was talking about bipartisanship when not one of the Republicans saw the stimulus bill, and how you defend that. Also, how long is it, and you can answer one or part of these. Okay, just one. Sorry. So my question is, how are we supposed to trust an administration that has such a dishonest approach to say one thing, then do another, and appoint people to important positions who don't even follow the laws that they impose on other people?
Thank you.